Oh, hey, you're supposed to look like the one guy. Gerald?
You mean depressed and out of work?
Welcome to Battle of the Worst. Today was
A head-to-head
challenge.
against another YouTube.
All of these film reviews have spoilers.
Is that the whole name? Wow.
It's one word.
Rolls off the tongue.
We went up against another YouTube channel called All of These Film Reviews Are Spoilers. Was that it?
Yep, all
Yeah.
these film reviews have
By the way,
spoilers.
that's the whole name.
This is the smartest guy on the crew. We call him the professor.
These film reviews have spoilers.
We'll have a link to them in the description so you can go check them out.
You know,
Go check them out after you watch this video.
We could stop doing Battle of the Worst and start doing one of those ASMRs. Yeah.
We got new mics. Hopefully that sounds good for you guys.
Yeah. They're not that new. They came from Zach's basement. Yeah.
New to us. It's still new.
So we watched two movies today. We went head to head with this other channel. And we watched Ankle Biters. And
Their choice was Dracula 3000.
Hello, aren't we forgetting something?
2004 extravaganza of greatness.
Dracula 3000 is not to be confused with Dracula 2000. They are completely different movies.
Which are both equally
One,
as bad.
one has a budget. One has a budget. The other one does not.
Hey. One has Rico from...
Like I said, they didn't have a budget.
Okay, so we watched Ankle Biters first.
Oh. I can't remember anything about Ankle Biters.
We each chose a movie, and we put them on a spinner. Ankle Biters ended up being the movie.
I thought it was Steaks and Suckers.
No, we ate steaks after we watched the vampire movies, so that's why it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Steaks and steaks through the heart, you know?
Steaks and steaks.
Yeah.
We can go steaks
Hey,
and steaks.
there you go.
Yeah.
Hey.
Knock off of the, that chain shake and steak.
Steak and shake?
Steak and shake. That
Yeah.
Steak and shake.
I haven't
Close
been there in a long time.
That's not.
This is the smartest guy on the crew.
Well, I'd argue that some of the Ankle Biters got shaken up a little bit.
That
So Ankle Biters was a movie about, what was the theme song? 3 feet tall, 2-inch fangs. 3 feet tall, 2-inch
Oh, no, but it was 3 feet tall! 2-inch fangs!
Yeah.
3 feet tall! You could barely understand.
and repeat. That's all the lyrics.
Oh, but
Yeah.
that didn't happen until the credits.
The thing that really disappointed me, though, it was no... You know, that was no, like, you know, Matt Farley kind of a song. Those things...
Matt Farley is a thief. Matt Farley is a liar and a big old jerk. Oh, yeah.
Man, they need to get Matt Farley to sing 3 feet tall, 2-inch fangs. They'd be like, it would have been amazing. You know, it would have. He would have been like, 3 feet tall, 2-inch fangs. 3 feet tall. But it would have had like the kind of music
It would
or
have
something.
it would have had this nice beat to it and very catchy. That one wasn't catchy.
So all the dwarves, all the vampires in this movie are dwarves.
Which is concerning because there was
Which is
one
not-
that wasn't, that we found
Which is
out
not
later.
true. There's 2 vampires that are not dwarves.
Well, originally there
Yes.
was only one.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he is our main protagonist, and he's a Blade character. He's Blade ripoff.
he's Blade, Underworld. I mean, you name whatever cliched vampire slayer of a vampire. It was everything.
And he was so cool. He talked like this
He was the only person that talked like this.
all the time.
Everybody else talked in their normal fucking voice.
I hear you like to send people to parties.
What the hell are you talking about?
They pay you?
The first thing that comes to mind is, okay, you know what, Zach? Explain to us
The opening.
the story.
Yeah.
Okay,
Start with
so
the opening at least. I can't remember it.
The first scene I personally remember is there might have been a fight scene in the very beginning, but the first scene that
Under a bridge.
The first scene I personally remember is there's like this the blonde guy with his hair pulled back. He's like running. He was at a rave, and he's running and
During the day.
During the day.
And the cameraman's chasing him.
He's being chased by the ankle biters, and the ankle biters they're chasing him, and you're not seeing them at first. You're just hearing them make this weird squirrel noise.
Oh man, dude, this movie should have been the Warriors too, and the ankle biters should have been one of the groups. It would have worked.
A 1970s reference.
Just talking about this movie's hurting my eyes.
We eventually get, within the 3 minutes of chasing this guy, we get into the bridge, underneath the bridge. And that's when we fully see the scale of this movie.
Wait, they don't show us any scale. They're
it's
always
short
zoomed in, so you can't tell their height.
It's a small scale, small budget.
There were no wides in this movie.
No wides.
Oh, yes, there were. It was wide enough to where you saw the edge of the camera lens.
They did have that weird vignette effect in some of the, like, every other shot had like a vignette type thing going.
It's because the camera caught the end of the lens, because they zoomed out all the way. If they had it zoomed in just a little bit, they couldn't see the vignette.
Because it was an ultra wide. No, I'm kidding. So there's a bunch of little people there.
Yo, shortcake. Like this.
The thing is, the little people are all kind of standing there like almost a gang, and they're like, "Hey!" And then instantly they do a grunt, and then they go, and you have to have that little focus on each one going.
And they have the Dollar Mart teeth.
It's the very, very cheap teeth.
I like that. I'm pretty sure they changed that later on too.
I think
or at least the normal size people had different ones.
No, I think they just fit. Right.
They probably did.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, actually, the tall guy, his was always crooked. His was always crooked to the side. The one bigger guy who was the bad guy.
They cut the top teeth out, and they put them there, so they have to hold it there with their tongue, or their other lip going.
Or the teeth going.
Yeah.
But that being said, we still have not even started talking about this movie.
The hero hasn't even come in.
So these ankle biters jump on the guy and start biting his ankles and biting his body. And then you see, all of a sudden, White Blade and his little
Whistler.
person sidekick.
No, Whistler.
His
Mini Whistler.
Whistler.
Okay.
Mini. Yeah, Whistler.
Mini Whistler is there, and they're like, "Hey!" Pulls out a gun. They pull out their cap guns, and they start firing. And the one guy has a shotgun. That is absolutely the most... It is the most dollar store shotgun ever. You can even hear the hum every single time.
It was obviously plastic, and they just spray painted matte black over it.
I think it came that way.
When the guy that was running at the beginning, when he got tackled by the little people, there were no bite marks. There was just blood, but there was no bite marks.
Did anybody
No,
else...
but people did rub their face on other people. That did happen.
And they spit out blood when they did that. Did anybody else really want to, after watching the movie, want to go see a midget wrestling match? I did.
It would have been fun.
I wanted to see if they did better choreography, or if this is the best they can do.
By the way, spoiler, how they killed any vampire in this movie is you have to inject the small vampire blood into a small vampire to kill them. But if it's a big vampire, you have to inject big vampire blood into big vampire to kill them.
And
I think they put the little vampire blood into the one guy in the end, and they're like, it's either gonna make him stronger or it's gonna kill him.
Which was a
Yes.
spoiler for that scene.
which made him.
By the way, there will be spoilers.
We're telling you this entire movie.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
So from then on, we have no idea what's going on yet. And then from then on, it goes right into a bar.
Well, no, I thought we went to the railroad tracks first.
What happened at the railroad
there-
tracks?
there-
What is
there
the
was-
scene that you're talking about?
There's two random people
Oh,
that
oh.
we never see meeting with the little people on the train tracks, and they're like, "Hey, you got the money? Oh, well, you got the sword."
First, you were like,
Oh,
"Wait,
yeah.
what? the sword?" He didn't know it was sword. And we had to all go, wait, I think he said sword. I think
There was a slight speech impediment.
you got the sword.
You got the money?
Yeah, you got the sword or not?
Explain to us that this all the tall vampires
Are dead.
are dead, and
Yeah.
only the little vampires survive. And
They
if a little vampire bites somebody, I guess it creates a little vampire.
I don't.
No,
they never
but yeah.
explained it.
If they supposedly if they bite a little person, they become a vampire. But if they bite a big person,
They just die.
they just die.
So
they-
the sword is going to make it to where they can turn big people
And,
into
and
vampires.
expand their ranks.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest here. None of that was explained through the whole entire movie.
No.
This is. We are inferring that this is what they were trying to say.
Through dialogue, yeah.
Sheer conjecture.
Through dialogue that you could kind of hear.
We're coming back for the main course.
Then we go into the bar. They have this little action sequence of like, we don't take can, lady, you're can around here, kind of a thing.
Can.
Paul Bunyan, you got a problem?
They basically beat up everybody in the bar.
T-bone.
T-bone. Okay, I was close.
T-Bone. Okay, so they basically beat everybody up in the bar, and T-Bone gets hit on by this one. Hey, little man, what's your number? And
Hey, Shorty, can I get your phone number?
then his friend, Dull Blade.
The first. Have you seen it?
Hold on, he said dull blade. Anybody? Come on. It has
So
a
weird.
double meaning. He has a sword in it too. Okay.
Just call him.
Goes, "Ah," and pulls him back. And it's like, this guy was gonna, before he died, he was gonna get laid. Spoiler for the end of the movie.
Oh, it wasn't quite the end.
And this whole time, I'm thinking that T-Bone was a vampire and Dullblade was a normal human, but it turned out to be the completely other way around.
But you know what? You know why you can explain why you have that mentality? Because all little people in the movie
Yeah.
Are
is
vampires.
vampires.
It was
Yeah.
literally explained to us moments before this scene that all tall vampires are dead. They can't make them. That all the little ones are vampires.
Yeah.
So we, just like we inferred the previous scene, we were inferring on this.
Well, we expected all the Munchkins to be from Munchkinland.
Guy 187. And they tell me 187 was his IQ before he enrolled at Berkeley Satellite Campus.
I don't know why, but every person in this movie, when they get together, they look at each other like, okay, we're all good guys. Then action slow-mo shot.
Not
For
just-
about 3 minutes.
One of my biggest problems with this movie was that whenever they had like an action shot, they'd switch the frame real quick, and you just see everybody standing around like they're waiting for their cue, and then it's almost like you have like 5 seconds of them just standing around, and then somebody off on the side goes action, and everybody just runs in.
Yeah. That's the way movies are made.
Yeah, I don't.
What are you talking about?
But they're it's like they're filming before
exactly.
they said, yeah.
That's
And
the way
keeping-
movies are made. Haven't you ever seen any other movie? You turn, you always go cut, action. There, you don't turn
but
that.
you do realize
That's called
you're supposed
production
to,
value.
Every
So-
single movie, like Jaws, before he gets killed, he's like, wait.
I have a theory that the guy who made the movie, wrote the movie, he watched a bunch of vampire movies, and he really liked John Carpenter's vampires. And then he was like, oh shit, you know, it'd be crazy. You made the midgets. Done. He made John Carpenter's vampires, but with midgets.
No, he also liked Blade.
Little people.
And Wizard of Oz.
Oh, man. See, I told you shouldn't have parked here. But no, you don't listen to me, do you? You do what you want to do. Shut up.
Well, I'm trying to remember if anything of substance actually happened between
The beginning and
the
the end?
beginning and the end, other than
They made the big giant vampire.
Guys, he meets the big giant vampire's sister, and then she becomes. She's only in the movie for like 3 scenes, but yet she becomes like a main thing. We have the girl,
Say hello.
Go to hell.
and then he's like, "Oh, T-bone! All right, I need to get myself a guy with a chopper, a little personal chopper, a homeless guy." To save this other girl that we don't know.
Guys, you're missing the most crucial part. Halfway through the movie, before T-Bone dies, there is this big epic action. It's round 1 between the 2 giant vampires, and they keep doing the reverse shot of jumping up to the car, and they're fighting on the car. Ass kicked.
Oh, then homeless man shows up and fires his gun at him and misses because the guy does a backflip.
Broke it. Awesome just game.
we have a ghost, everybody.
We do.
No, he was trying to do a backflip off the wall.
Pull another stunt like that, you'll be cleaning the head all the way back home.
And then they have the biker rally.
Oh yeah. Wait, they brought their friends and family.
15 motorcycles.
Jump on in a circle.
For about a minute and a half.
It reminded me of South Park, where the people. We don't have small.
And they circled like 15 times.
Yeah, and
No,
That would have been awesome.
No, it's
If
just the director says, "Hey guys, craft service is ready," and everybody got up and okay, and just start walking.
See, I would want to watch that movie where they're circling and they're creating dust, and then they have to fight inside the circle as we're still circling. That would be cool.
And they randomly pull like trips with teachers, and they like try and kill Marvin or
Trip with the teacher.
Yeah, with the
Why'd you have to reference that movie? It's so sad.
it's so rapey. we went 2 movies without rapey.
Yeah.
They're throwing the whole crowd comes up and they go, "Oh yeah, we have guns." They pull out the guns after.
They wait until they are 10 feet away from them before they start firing at them.
Well, it's because, you know, they didn't have muzzle flashes. I mean, it was just cap guns, and so they only had like 3.
Okay, so they
Then
fight. Epic fight scene.
Oh, yes.
Was it epic?
No.
And
No, the antagonist vampire was the little person who had like the goatee and the blonde.
Cue Ball shows up and injects Dollblade with his blood, and they're like, "Oh, this is either gonna make him stronger or kill him."
Of course, he gets stronger, and we don't see him do really anything. He just kind of like through the magic of editing, he wins.
You guys are so funny, I just don't know what to do with myself.
Next movie on this head-to-head was
Dracula 3000. You would think that we planned that, but we didn't. Because if you notice, Zach didn't say
Tobin,
shit.
You're new to our panel. You tell us about Dracula 3000.
Dracula 3000.
The mic's right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dracula 3000 was...
What? Bet you that pussy sweeter than a honey bun.
It is the number 2. Oh.
4, you're gonna end up dead on the floor.
5. Ain't none of y'all bitches getting out of here alive.
6. Space crew that was called to salvage a spaceship that went missing 50 some odd years before, after picking up a cargo from a planet called Transylvania. Go figure. And then...
What was the cargo?
Apparently it was a bunch of coffins.
With sand in.
Whatever, dude.
I thought he was Dracula in the movie.
He was, but they called him by his first name.
Yeah,
His name is Orlok.
they called him with a C word.
His name is Orlok.
Count.
Hold on.
Count Orlok of Transylvania.
Oh my god, that would have been an amazing movie.
Yes, Sasha, where were you, my pet?
The count in space. One death.
You know how
zipping around.
You know how the blood went into the sand, and then that created. Oh look, here's a vampire. What if all of them were different types of vampires in each one? They just didn't get any blood.
Oh my god.
So what if the count was in one of them? You hear.
What is the Sesame Street number of the day?
Well, the movie
with-
starts off and it lays out every single character for us.
Yes. We established there's
There's
Big Tough Dude.
There's Captain Van Helsing.
Explain to me what just happened.
Which is a letdown that he gets offed like the second guy.
And you didn't even get to see it.
It's like, yeah, and he just
like a
happened.
meeting.
So happened. Here I am, not cool anymore. Okay. But we get Big Buff Dude.
Raise your hand if you want to talk next time.
Who's in various movies. I love him in all of his movies
Yes.
he's done.
You recognize him from his lazy eye.
Yes.
They had a lot of recognizable actors in this movie.
And Stank Face Girl.
They had the Marlon Wayans type character.
Wait, wasn't that?
Yeah, they
wasn't
did
that,
have that guy.
It wasn't Ice Cube. It was. He's actually a rapper.
He is a rapper.
What was the name? Was it 180, 175?
187.
187.
187 because that was supposedly his IQ before he started doing drugs.
Yeah.
His whole everything about him was looking for something to smoke.
Constant.
Yeah.
What did he do on the ship?
Smoke.
He was supposed to be smart. He was supposed to be really smart. It's just he ended up. His IQ used to be 187, and then he started smoking a lot of weed, and then it went down.
He was not smarter, however, than the professor in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I
No,
want to say
he
they
was like a genius who just cried all the time.
And he's like, "Oh, you have to be logical. Don't be scared. Be logical. If you can be logical, you will never be scared." And then he's scared throughout the rest of the movie.
He's crying the entire movie.
I don't know why, but in my mind, when you were like the logical, I just heard that stupid Schoolhouse Rock thing. Adjectives. Just logical.
We unpacked our adjectives.
Okay, so you had these characters, then you had the one girl who they were like, we don't know your backstory. But then you find out later she was previously a sex bot, but she is a robot now.
She was a sex bot upgraded to like working for the police or something like
that.
Yeah,
like an intelligence service operative.
Yeah, for like
robot.
Yeah, and which is dumb because she had too much attitude.
You telling me this movie is a deep underground military base?
A dumb?
That's dumb.
It's not.
Well, then untie me, and you can take off my clothes and look me over.
Are they connected?
What if
is this 1,000 years later?
What if this all happened underground and it wasn't in space?
Now, I'll tell you right
That's
now,
why
there
it
is
makes
one...
sense with the Van Helsing thing and everything, because that was up there.
What's with the common movie trope of vampires chasing, like, people running away from supposed cameramen that are vampires? Because they did that in this film as well as Ankle Biters. Actually, Ankle Biters came out 2 years prior to this movie.
So they.
I'm sorry. I'm just remembering like they always before they actually saw Dracula in the movie, they'd always show like a clip of him like just a blur running quickly by. But then once we actually established the character, they did the same thing, but they showed him his costume.
It was jarring. I can tell you that.
I love that he had the classic like
Victorian.
Like no, not Victorian. This was like dollar store. Like you ordered this for Party City kind of costume from Dracula
with that fake medallion.
I'm Dracula. You know, it wasn't like something where it was like an edgy take on Dracula. It was like, hey guys, this guy came from Party City.
It was a Halloween store take on Interview with a Vampire. So get up. That's what it was. And they paid.
I would have said Bela Lugosi.
No, they paid that $10.99.
Blah 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 blah.
So it looked like the majority of this movie was filmed in a warehouse, right?
Oh, it was a
submarine.
Was it a submarine? Or
No. It was just
they had the door.
But that could have been a ship. Could have been a submarine. Could have been.
It was an out of commission type of vessel.
I think the certain
ship.
doors that they had where they would go chink chink and stuff. Yes, that was probably filmed in a submarine. But the big wides of the ship was just a warehouse. Now it wasn't like a vacant warehouse. This was like it was a out of commission like actual like factory because there had all those tubes everywhere. I mean, this was a legit factory, but you could tell it was a factory.
Well, hold on. Do you think aircraft carriers are pretty large? Mm-hmm. Do you think an aircraft carrier would have like those doors under?
No.
And it's actually
the hull locks.
Oh, aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Oh, just for the door. I thought you meant like how wide some of those things were. I don't think they filmed those.
They're relatively cheap to rent out. And you don't need any other set building. There you go. It's not like Alien, where they built the whole ship.
It's true, guys. We're gonna have our next review there. It's so cheap to film there.
It's fairly cheap. It's like $1,000 a week.
Oh, that's actually really cheap.
It's to film something that's out
especially
of
for a movie that had. I'll come out and say I'm pretty sure they had at least $1 million budget.
Oh yeah, just to pay those actors alone.
Yeah, the recognizable actors.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, the stink face girl probably got, you know, like $1,000 to be there.
Buy this thing?
No.
Thought you can do everything.
He was good.
I didn't understand why he had the red eye contact thing going on, but Dracula didn't.
Dracula didn't have anything.
Yeah.
It literally looked like they got a guy. Hey, just put on this costume and stand there. Okay.
And then you got.
Don't act. Dracula doesn't act.
They found him purchasing the outfit at Party City. They're like, "You want to be in a movie? Come on."
He's like, well, I'm not an actor.
He already bought the suit, so you're like, we don't have to spend $10.
You can wear that.
We can put that to something else.
You want free food?
Hey, guess what, guys? We have now the budget for Stank Face Girl.
I didn't even know that one girl who showed up at the end. They took the stake out and she came back to life. I was like, who the fuck is this lady?
It's Ponytail Girl.
Yeah, but I was like, who is she? I forgot about her.
When she lost,
it took so long.
When she lost her ponytail, you were like, what?
Who is she?
Oh my god, Clark Kent? You're Superman?
Pleasure, Bob.
I've heard of those. I ain't never had no credits.
The ending was like this. Cut the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, it's almost like the director goes, kill this movie, cut it.
We're at this point where the head-to-head. Which one was the worst of the night?
Which one would you not want to watch again?
Which has no redeeming qualities.
Okay, so we'll go from left to right.
Okay.
Let's be honest here. Honestly, I was so lost with Ankle Biters. So incredibly lost. And halfway through it, I was still lost. And I was so annoyed that Zach picked this to watch. I wish we were watching mine that I picked. But yeah, I would have to say Ankle Biters. Ankle Biters was just ungodly bad.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Ankle Biters as well, because you literally had to come up with the story in your head to know what was going on.
When I first saw the beginning of the second one, I thought it was no contest. But I have a lot of scientific issues with the second one. And that I can't do that, so I'm gonna have to go with Dracula 3000.
Because Ankle Biters was so scientifically correct.
They threw
Ankle Biters. It was
forgettable
because of I wanted another scene with a midget. Okay, I wanted to see how they were going to utilize it, and it fell short every single time. I was not happy with it at all. My pick is Ankle Biters.
Okay.
All of these reviews have spoilers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All these reviews have spoilers.
All these reviews have spoilers. Their choice was Ankle Biters.
Oh, so the best of the worst today still goes to Zach.
Battle of the worst. We won. You won. You won.
All right.
So Battle of the Worst goes to Zach.
I still hold the trophy, I guess.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding.
And I feel like this episode should only... It's only proper to have this episode end just like Dracula 3000.